Well, we're going live in a bit. Righto. Are we ready? Yes, we are. Right. So, we're live. Welcome to the Plate of Possibilities. And today, my guest, Cobus Kriel, a South African coach in carnivore. Right. So, Cobus, how are you today?
I'm doing fantastic, Graham, and thank you for the opportunity and taking the initiative to do this live. I appreciate it.
It's my pleasure, Cobus. For me, it's like meeting South African carnivores is my main goal now, just to get to know South African carnivores and to basically get them also into the swing of what we are busy with, the carnivore movie, to get them in that swing as well so that they can also be ready when we get an overseas visit as well from Homestead How, Kerry. So
Yeah,
yeah, are we ready? Are you
we
ready
are.
for those tough questions? Right, but
Absolutely. Yes.
before I start, let me just have a banner up here. If you have any questions for my guests, type Q in front so that we can know and we will display. If you want to say hi, I see comments coming through. Let's say hi. Guess who's first to say hi? We are ready and finally on time. Yay for Diane. Cobus, Bypass Carnival says she's on time, ready for us. Optimal Me is also here, also watching from say, welcome Optimal Me. Nice to see you in our chat. Right, Cobus. First question then. Tell us, tell us. Share with us a brief overview of your life and health before you begin the carnivore diet.
Yeah. So let me just give an overview. I'm 50 years old, and I am 4 years and 10 months on the carnivore diet. But before that, I started to struggle with my health, and I was a little bit overweight. Had 12 kilos to lose, and I had non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. I had hypertension, I had headaches, and I did not know uh, that those were the things that was caused by my wrong eating. So um, I first I did not know about the carnivore diet, and the first thing that I tried was the vegan diet. Yeah, and I was vegan for
Mm-hmm.
6 months, and I was running to lose weight, and I was doing this vegan diet, but it made it worse. And uh, my liver enlarged and my spleen enlarged, and I was drinking a lot of cold drink. Graham, I was consuming because of the heat in excess of 4 liters Coca-Cola. Some days even 5 liters of Coca-Cola. If I'm
Mm-hmm.
on the road like that, I was not drinking water. I was not drinking water, but it was also because I needed the energy, and that was all that sugar um, caused the non-alcoholic fatty liver. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, uh, and what happened? What kick-started the carnivore diet for me was I was sitting in front of my doctor, and I asked him, "What is this pain on my liver?" And at that stage, I did not know that I had an enlarged spleen. And I
Mm-hmm.
asked him, "Is it the Coca-Cola that I'm consuming in excess? I know it's bad." And he said, "No, he does not think it is." Can you believe it?
Mm-hmm.
And uh, he wanted to do the sonar, and he sent me for a sonar, but I did not even go back to him. I
Mm.
did not go back. And I started to do research, and I found Dr. Sean Baker and the Joe Rogan podcast, and Professor Jordan Peterson's interview. And from there, I just started to do more research, and
Yeah.
within um, 2 months, most of my problems was gone. Um, no more pain on the liver, hypertension gone,
Mm.
uh, yeah, headaches gone, everything was fine. And I lost the kilos, of course. Uh,
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. That's a lot said. It's
yeah,
a lot. It's a journey. You say 4 years on the carnival, 4.5 years,
yeah.
and it's like your start. Was it the struggle starting the carnivore diet? The
No,
first, if you can remember the first few weeks, the
no,
first
it
month.
was not difficult for me. No,
Mm.
because I do love meat. And I think what made it
Okay.
easy is because I went from being vegan and having not allowed myself to eat meat, and suddenly I was able to find proper nutrition. I think my body was thanking me, you know.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
I did not have a problem to adapt. And um, keto flu symptoms was cramps for me, but other than that, I did not really have a problem as far as I can remember. There is a short interview of with me when I was 6 months carnivore on my blog.
Mm.
I must go and listen again what I said there. but but as far as I can remember, um, there were no other symptoms of keto flu.
Okay. So that is one of the things. I'm gonna allow questions also in between as we speak. Because yes, our guest also wants to, not our guest, our audience also wants to find out certain points that we hit where we maybe it triggers a question. Let's just tackle it then. So our first question comes from Bypass Carnivore, which asks Cobus, because of fatty liver, did your doctors tell you not to eat red meat?
Uh-huh. No, I did not ask them, and I never went back to them. So
Hmm.
yeah, I never went back to them concerning that particular uh, situation. So I solved it by the grace of God with the carnivore diet.
Hmm.
Um, and the funny thing is that I received a message from somebody in my area saying that there's one particular doctor who say that Cobus Kriel, talks nonsense when when he asked the doctor whether he could do the carnivore diet. So
Mm.
uh, so whether that is true or not, I just say what he's commenting. But you
Mm.
know, I always say, Graham, that at the end of the day, life and death is at stake. And
Mm.
you know, it's one thing if somebody don't tell you uh, something and it does not affect you, but keeping things away. And I made a video for that particular person who said, "Yeah, this doctor say Cobus Kriel talks nonsense." I say, well, the first thing you must ask him is give the scientific evidence where
Mm.
Cobus Kriel is wrong,
Yeah.
you know, and then
Hmm.
the other thing that he should do is he should email you those links, and it should be proper studies. And then I always say that you must tell me which essential nutrient is in plants that I should eat, you
Yeah.
know, um, and then I will make an apology video for you. Uh, if that nutrient is not found in an animal product, and up to today, it's almost 5 years that they can't answer me to that. But I listed several things that guy must tell his doctor. But one of the last things that I told him to tell his doctor is, "Hey, doctor, didn't you sign something to say you won't do any harm to your patient? Didn't you sign something like that?" You know,
Mm,
and you know, and I said in that video, I said that people, you and me know them. They are taking the
mm,
right medicines. They are taking it religiously, and yet they suffer um, the ill effects of the disease, like diabetes, like hypertension, and even cholesterol-related situations. They're taking the
mm.
statins, they're taking the medicine, but they still suffer in the end from those diseases, although they're taking the right medicines. And yet, you and I know
Mm.
we reverse those things, the hypertension, the sugar diabetes, the insulin resistance. We reverse those things with the carnivore diet. And yet, I asked in that video, ask your doctor, why are other people allowed to reverse their hypertension, their sugar diabetes, etc., but I'm not allowed to do that?
Yeah.
And then
Mm.
I made a very strong point, Graham. I said, you must tell your doctor to make a note on your file to say that on this date, I advise you not to do the carnivore diet, because then you have it on record.
Yeah.
Because, if I give somebody advice, I'm just a guy on the internet. But if your doctor gives you advice, it's another story, because now that doctor just told him, listen, don't do the carnivore diet. And this guy had a problem. He had insulin resistance. So now basically the doctor is saying indirectly, no, we'll fix it with medicine. Don't worry about the diet. Don't do that diet. You know.
Mm.
And the ripple effect is problematic. It's detrimental. People die.
Mm.
People lose legs,
Yeah.
etc. Yeah.
Yeah. That is so sad. That is so sad. If a doctor just say you must drink, and if I look at the hypertension when they said I must just you can't stop these tablets. You must
Mm.
continue it, and what it leads to. I was on statins. What it leads to. So I was like scared when I heard that statins can cause diabetes. However, I saw the pre-signs of diabetes. I think so, like that pre-things that happens to a person's body. Weight gain was one of those things as well. So for me, it's like I also said at the end when I discovered this, oh, frick, the doctor maybe doesn't know what he's talking about anymore.
Mm.
So yeah, what you're saying, and I also heard that I don't know if you know Dr. Philip Ovadia, the heart surgeon.
Yes.
I Yeah, the guy who wrote the book Stay Off My Operating Table. He
Mm.
also has a testimony, and he has this one person in that testimony where he says that this person followed all the rules, and at the end he couldn't save that person, but they followed the rules what the doctor said,
Mm.
and he had to like try and do a heart surgery trying to save a life, but he couldn't, and
Yeah.
that was his turning point.
Yes.
Yeah, so
Yes.
yeah, but let's not digress into other things. Let's continue. I had another question for you.
Yes.
um from Optimal Me. So did Cobus go from vegan to carnivore, or was there something in between?
Now, I went straight from vegan to carnivore, and um, there are who is the other steak and butter girl? Yeah, she also
Mhm.
went from
Bella.
yeah,
Bella,
Bella.
yes.
She went from vegan to carnivore, and there's
Mm,
actually quite a few on my blog. Dr. Sean Baker interviews some of them, and some of the
mm,
other doctors interview
yeah,
also some of them. So yeah, that's quite something.
yeah, it is quite something. And we got an expression. You answered the question. Optimal Me. Wow. Right. So just to come back to what you said, bypass carnivores, I totally agree. They need to provide the research if they're going to say we need to do something or other than the carnivore? Where is the research?
Yeah.
So yeah, let's just say you covered such a lot in such a short time. You already said to me your background, what motivated you to go on the carnivore,
Yeah.
and you
I
already
can
said,
take you down another rabbit hole if you like.
yeah, let's go down that rabbit hole. Let our viewers
Okay.
also
Uh,
walk
all
with
right.
me
So
this rabbit hole. So I'm
I'm
not the
curious.
doctor here. I'm just the listener who's very
Yeah,
curious
I'm
about
curious
Cobus.
because you touched on statins and
Yeah,
diabetes.
yeah.
So, and you said that statins may cause diabetes. How do you explain that?
I don't know. There's something in that drug, and maybe it's because my research says back in history, statins was the danger drug that killed few people, and then
Mm,
they switched it up and switched
mm.
it up, and then it, I think with money or so, got into the
Yeah.
market again later on.
Okay,
So
I'll try to answer it.
yeah,
Can I try? Can I try to
let's
answer
go.
it?
Let's go.
So I always make notes. By the way, I'm making notes. Huh?
Yes, I try to, but I just stopped because you just blew me out of the waters.
Yeah. You see, because I'm always learning, Grant.
Yeah.
Like for instance, now I never heard somebody say statins cause diabetes, and
Mm-hmm.
so I'm intrigued. But I'll try to answer it. And if I get a question like this on my TikToks, and they say, "Can statins cause diabetes?" Somebody said, uh, um, "Statins cause diabetes." Then I say, there might be a link. Let's look at it. So
Okay.
what the statins will do detrimental for you is it will break down the fluffy LDL.
Mm,
Yes, and the fluffy shaped LDLs transport the triglycerides to the cells.
mm-hmm.
But what happens now because of the statins? Statins is not working on the bullet shaped LDLs because the bullet shaped LDLs are the dangerous ones and they hide in the cracks in the arterial walls that was damaged by glucose, you know.
Mm,
And then when we are taking the statin medication, it actually make the fluffy LDL, it break it down. So with
mm.
other words, uh, you end up with more bullet-shaped LDLs. And because of this whole situation, your insulin resistance go up more because of the triglycerides not
Yeah.
being able to be transported properly. And
Mm,
now what happens is the liver becomes more fatty and more insulin resistant because the liver is supposed to recycle the fluffy LDL.
mm.
It recycles 2,000 milligrams of cholesterol every day. Yeah, and
Wow.
you can't stop it. But
Mm,
here's the interesting thing: um, is when people eat carbohydrates, the bullet-shaped LDL become more. Why? Because what happens is of insulin resistance, the insulin blocks the fluffy LDL, so it
yeah.
can't be recycled. And then you sit with a dangerous situation because that is when that bullet-shaped LDLs in the uh, cuts in the arteries, when they recruit white blood cells, they form a little
Mm,
pack there. And then you can, if that thing bursts, that's where a heart attack comes in. That's where a stroke comes in. You know?
mm.
Yeah. So,
Wow.
but what it's a very interesting thing. Diabetes and because many people like today, earlier today, I had somebody that said, "I'm fine. I'm smaller
Mm,
than everybody. I'm thin basically. You know, and I can eat what I want." But
yeah.
what they don't realize is because they're eating wrong, their sugar does go up. But
Yeah.
what? Why doesn't it reflect as diabetes? So
Mm-hmm.
the insulin secretes, and the insulin push the sugar down. So they test below 6.5, maybe 5.6. They are pre-diabetic, but they are hyperinsulinemic. And that's
Yeah.
hyperinsulinemia. That is the thing. And and it causes high uric acid levels, and it causes
Hmm.
hypertension and many other problems in the body. It's even linked to Alzheimer's disease.
Mm, exactly. Yeah, I read something about the Alzheimer as well.
Yes,
Removing that, people got their memory back, and
yes.
yeah.
And uh, if you consider what Dr. Barry said about cholesterol, how important cholesterol are for
Mm,
our bodies, you know, considering all our hormones are made from cholesterol.
yeah.
Yes. So, with other words, if you are taking statin medication, um,
Killing it. Mm.
it will lessen the
Yeah, it
available,
kills it. Mm,
yeah, cholesterol. So,
yeah.
it's a vicious cycle. Yeah,
Yeah. And that's
yeah,
why I just stopped mine, because I was like getting
mm,
scared of what it does.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
People start to forget. I work with people in old age homes, and they start to lose their memory. And then I
Mm.
ask immediately, "Are you on statins?" Because 30% of our cholesterol, as you know, are within the brain.
In the brain. Yeah.
And, your nerves are sheathed with myelin formed from cholesterol. Your immune system is enhanced with cholesterol. Yeah. And um, insulin is a hormone, you
Mm.
know. So, yeah, insulin is a hormone and is made from cholesterol. So if you take
Yeah.
statins, you see the link that you actually
Mhm.
put me on.
Yeah.
So you just gave me more ammunition, my friend. So I came here to be asked questions, and now I
Now you get
I'm,
knowledge as
I
well.
get more information. I like it. Um, uh, and of course, just as a disclaimer, and I know you also know this and say this, but when people want to reduce their medicine or stop their medicine, they should consult their doctor.
Doctor. Mm.
Yeah, very important. Um, I had a customer who did not reduce her medication, and she was in the hospital within 2 days because
Wow.
the sugar diabetes medication was too strong. So
Oh,
sugar fell too far. So always consult your doctor. We
doctor.
need good doctors. We need doctors to be on board with us. We are
Mm.
not against doctors.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not against. What I can tell you, experience from my side is having these other blood pressure tablets, and being on the carnivore diet, and obviously blood pressure has been reduced. My BP is starting to drop.
Yes.
Um, I still took of it, and then I had a dizzy spell one morning. And that morning, I started to start reading up on the other tablets. So I've left the statins, and I started to read up what does those tablets do.
Mm.
And obviously, with the tablet was in there, another one that reduces sodium in your system. And here's the funny part: that morning, I drank an electrolyte. And I
Okay.
think everything went haywire because of the sodium, and years of tablet fighting away the sodium. You're running to the toilet every time. So it
Yes.
was very interesting, and I was like, no, 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 something is wrong
Yes.
with what I'm doing. And so I just halved the tablets,
Yes.
and then slowly off. So
Yes.
yeah, I'm off my tablets
It's
slowly.
wonderful. Um, this morning we were in the pharmacy and we were looking for electrolytes for my wife,
Mm-hmm.
and I said we don't want this rehydrate because it's full of
No,
sugar.
yeah.
And then she said, no, we'll give you one of the for the diabetics, and she give us uh, electrolytes for the diabetics. I took
Uh,
it and I say, no, but there's sugar in it. She says, no, there's no sugar in it. I said, there's sugar in it. Look, it says so.
yeah.
There's sugar in it. She said, no, well, let me give you another. And she went to another shelf and she says, this is for diabetics. I took it. it was full of glucose. It's full of glucose, a lot of glucose.
Yeah.
I said, I said to her, no man, just give me potassium,
Mm.
chloride,
Yeah.
and she just gave some counted
Potassium.
some of those off, and it's actually quite cheap, you know.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah,
So let's just continue with the questions. So dietary changes. How did you adapt your eating habits? What were your typical meals like when you first started the diet?
okay. I'm very plain, so um, I started with global steak. Yeah,
Mm.
South Africa, we have these huge steaks. You can
Uh,
uh,
don't we call it Texan steaks?
Texan steak, yeah. But yeah,
Yeah,
where
we call it most
my
Texan
area we
steak,
call it
which is that
global steaks, Texan
low,
steaks, huge
low
steaks,
bull.
and they're very
Uh-huh.
tough. And unfortunately, in most cases, they are very lean. But
Mm-hmm.
they were at that stage very cheap. And I'm cheap, Graham. Sorry.
Yeah, me too. Me too. I'm also cheap. The easy
And
way out.
I used to buy bags of fat, Graham, like 10 kilos of fat at a cold room for 10 rand per kilo.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
but this is like the cheapest fat, and it
yeah.
was not very good type of fat. It was a hard type of fat,
Mm,
and it actually became too much for me. But I bought bags and bags and bags of those things. But yeah, I stopped that now. But as you might have noticed, I'm on a high fat
yeah.
carnivore now, but I try to eat better fat now. Yeah, but it
Okay.
works. Right?
Mm, yeah.
My weight now is 77.2, um, and I'm 189 in length, in height,
Mm,
and
yeah.
yeah,
You're tall guy.
I, yeah, it's
I'm 170. That's why I say you're tall guy.
170. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah,
So okay. So just but of yes, I'm going everywhere.
yes,
I remember you saying you on a fat diet. Can you please
yes,
explain to
yes,
our viewers what is a fat diet? Because I was like, a fat diet, what does
yes,
Cobus mean with a fat
yes.
diet? So
Yes.
just give us
What we say is it's a high fat diet. So first of all, um, the, we know about ketosis.
mm,
All right. So when I started doing carnivore, we said we are not concerned about ketosis because you will go in and out of ketosis as your body see fit. Because
mm,
your body can produce um, glucose from protein through the process of gluconeogenesis.
yeah,
So we said you should eat as much fat as you can tolerate, but we didn't say to people eat fat like 60 or 80% fat. I never told people to do that. But later on, um, I discovered like Dr. Sean Baker is doing a high fat diet now. Kelly Hogan is doing a high fat diet now. And those are veterans. I mean, they are a long
mm,
time doing carnivore. I think Kelly is
mm,
now 14 years on the carnivore diet. And
mhm,
I did watch a video. I've got it on my blog of her doing a 5-month update on high fat. And I'm talking very high fat. It's like 80% fat.
yeah,
Yeah, but it's not on the scale in your kitchen. So you work it out with an online calculator, but it's a lot of fat. But you know what's the interesting thing is you go much more into ketosis. You feel much better. Your bowel
mm,
movements are much better. Your energy levels skyrocket. Yeah. So
wow,
it's amazing. You can for one day, I did a fat fast. So I only ate fat. I did not eat.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to know as well. A
Yes,
fat
and
fast.
the
That's the
previous day
first time I heard that.
yes, and the previous day I did a fast. It's not that I did it intentional. It was just I ate the previous day. Uh,
Mm,
seems a lot, and then the next day I didn't eat. And when the evening came, I said, I'm still not hungry. So I went through that whole day without eating. And then the next day I said, I will do a fat fast because I've heard Kelly Hogan talked about a fat
mm,
fast. And there's a doctor that she interviewed, Dr. Elizabeth Bright.
mm.
Her video is also on my blog. Those two videos is numbered 137 and 138 on my blog. Anyway, and she talks about the fat fast as well. Very, very interesting. And then, of course, we know Dr. Sophia Clements in
Mm.
Hungary that is doing uh, or having a clinic where she helps people with various diseases, but especially cancer, with the carnivore diet. She does not call it the carnivore diet, but it is a carnivore diet, but it's just her version. But
Yeah,
she does a very high fat diet
diet as
as well.
well. Wow.
Yeah.
Mm,
So fat for recovery, people that have inflammation is fantastic. Um,
mm.
people that struggle with their gut, it's very, very beneficial. But it's not for everybody. The high fat carnivore diet is not for everybody. Some people um, struggle with it. Other people do
Yeah.
well with it. But it's something to just to know that it's an option. Yeah.
So a few questions came in. Um, quick ones. What is the best fatty meat to eat?
Well, we ate chicken tonight. We ate chicken with chicken skins and chicken livers. It was quite fatty,
Yeah.
and we enjoyed that. And my wife's plan for carnivore looks like this. She basically eat chicken one day, then she will do pork belly the next day, and then the third day she'll do beef, fatty beef.
Hmm.
Yeah. So she also enjoys the fat.
Fat of
Fat
it.
is very
Hmm.
good for you. It keeps you satiated. It keeps your cravings away.
Yeah.
If you eat too lean, fat is very, very important, Greg, because if you eat not fatty enough, if you overeat on protein, you'll have too much glucose.
Yeah.
Yes, because the we don't have a protein storage place in our body. So what happens is that protein needs to be converted. If you overeat,
Mm.
uh, then that protein needs to be converted to triglycerides. It follows the same route as the carbohydrates, and you end up with triglycerides being stored. And it's not a bad thing. It's a natural thing, but it's just to because I it's just to something to remember because I used to eat like a big steak and it's all just muscle meat and you don't feel so well afterwards because it's muscle meat. But if it was more fat, it's another story
Mm.
because then also you'll eat much smaller portions.
Yeah.
You satiate it very, very quickly. And like I always say, the four hunger hormones that are controlled uh, by fat. If you don't eat fat, that four hunger hormones that in your intestines, they don't get triggered. So you don't get the satiation signal. You don't know that you are full. So that's why
Mhm.
people that overconsume on carbohydrates, for instance, they don't get a signal that they are full. They
That's
can just pop
yeah.
in the bag of chips and carry on. Um,
Hmm.
and the only signal that they get is a stretch signal. So their stomach stretches and then they know they are full.
Mm.
Uh,
Interesting stuff. Interesting. I hope my viewers enjoy this. What you're gonna this mountain of knowledge coming through out of South Africa.
and Graham, thank you. But there's another thing that why fat is also so important is let's say you did eat a lot of steak, the muscle meat. if you did not consume any fat with that, it's a problem, because now there's a TSH1 hormone that needs to be
Mm.
triggered in your lower intestine, and that is only triggered by fat. And that TSH1 hormone helps with the conversion from protein to glucose, and from glucose to eventually to triglycerides. But if you don't eat fat at all, of course, that's why people feel sometimes lethargic. They feel like they don't
Mm.
have energy. It's because they don't eat enough fat.
Eating the fat. Mm. Mm. Interesting.
Mm.
Yeah, I did up my fat, but I don't think it's that much.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah.
As much as you can tolerate, that is the
Mm.
the thing. And just know that it's an option. Uh,
Mm.
you'll see on your journey, Graham, and I think you experience it already. You change. The things that worked for you in the beginning, you don't do perhaps exactly like you're doing them now.
Mm.
You've learned, you adapted, you change
Mm.
certain things works
Correct.
better for you. I
Correct.
promise you,
Yes.
in 2 years' time, you'll do different things, and you'll have so much knowledge, and you know,
Mm-hmm.
because you adapt and you change, we learn.
Mm-hmm. Let me just go to optimal me. How much did you lose? Weight loss.
Yeah, in the beginning, I lost 12 kilos. I did pick up some weight later on. Even on carnivore, you can get a little bit weight back that you can hide very effectively under a shirt, Graham. So
Mm-hmm.
it's very possible. But anyway, but the high fat diet helped me a lot. I always had about 3 to 4 kilos that I struggled with, that didn't want to come off. And then when I went high fat carnivore, those four went up completely. I can't remember the last time that I was 77.2. So
Wow.
yeah, so I can still maybe lose 1 kilo, but that's it. But then I don't have anything more to go. Um, One of the doctors, I think it's Dr. Elizabeth Bright, says that she actually don't want to lose everything. You know,
Mm. Yeah.
she say in that video, she say cut, cut, cut. Those people that have the six pack and they cut, cut, cut. They don't do well hormonally.
Okay.
They don't do well under stress. Your body
Mm.
needs a little reserve.
Yeah, little bit of fat.
Your body, not a lot, but it does need a
Mm.
little bit reserve for stress situations.
Mm.
Um, you know, if you go in the veld and you look at the animals that don't have any reserves on them is actually not the healthiest ones. the,
Mm.
the the fatty buck that you see there, rooibok or whatever it is,
Yeah.
the fattier ones, the, those are the
Either.
healthy ones. The ones
The.
that are too skinny, they are full of uh, ticks, and you don't want to even hunt them.
Mm.
So you look for the fatty ones. Those are the healthy
Those were
ones, and the one,
those were the target on them.
yeah, with the target on them. Those ones should be built on. So, yeah,
So, Cobus, you said you were 4 years and a half. So, as someone
yeah.
who has been on the carnivore diet for 4 years, what
Mm,
are the long-term effects you observe on your health and well-being?
yeah. Well, first of all, I have a lot of energy, and like you see in my videos, I do 100 push-ups every day.
One
And
Punch Man.
yeah, but I do have a lot of energy, and I feel good, and hormonally I'm doing great, and my brain function is wonderful, concentration, everything is wonderful. And you know, somebody asked me a question the other day, it was related to cancer or anything, something like that. And I said, even if anything should ever happen to me, what diet will I go and follow? I'll follow the carnivore diet. Doesn't matter what illness I may get or may not get. I will do the carnivore diet because why? I know it's the proper human diet. And it's like I told people always is, what will you give a sick animal to eat? Will you give a sick animal different food than you would give a healthy animal? You know, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the same question when we talk about children. You know, what will you give the younger species of the same kind that the older species is eating? Will you give a different kind of food? You know, we are the only species that do that. We say, no, yeah, I don't think carnivore is good for my child, but let's give him all these other things.
Mm-hmm.
It does not even make sense logically.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. Right, though. Let me just hear some interesting questions. How did you reverse your non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, and what were the key indicators of this improvement?
Okay. The key indicators was that I did not have pain anymore. The pain
Oh.
was so severe that I could not lie on my side, on my bed. I could not sleep because of the pain. My hypertension was through the roof, and this was, of course, the whole vicious cycle because insulin resistance. You are insulin resistant when you're
Mm.
resistant. When you have a fatty liver,
Mm.
non-alcoholic fatty liver, you are definitely insulin resistant.
Resistance, yeah.
Yeah. And also people that struggle with high uric acid, they are
Mm-hmm.
definitely insulin resistant. And like I said, with the high uric acid, many times they don't even know it that they have it.
Mm.
And that because it's below gout. So gout is at the level of 7, but they have 5.5 high uric acid, and the veins and the arteries become hard and not elastic anymore because of that
Mm.
high uric acid. And they get dementia, they get heart disease, all those things. Um, yeah. But to answer the question, how did I reverse it? I did the carnivore diet, and yeah, hypertension gone. Um, and I took my blood pressure earlier this morning. It's 144 over 93. So I know
Mm-hmm.
it's supposed to be below 140 and below 90, but it's all right. Um, Talking about optimal uh, optimal blood pressure, Dr. Berry talked about that as well. He said the norm of 120 over 80
Yeah.
is old school.
Yeah,
He
it's old
says
school.
he says anything actually below 140, starts to be all right, and around about 90. My wife, for instance, she has low blood pressure. And
Mm-hmm.
so if her blood pressure is 120 over 80, she feels terrible. You know,
Oh,
it's like
wow.
she blood pressure is above 200. This is how she feels. So this is why um, you'll hear the carnivore coaches on my blog talk about optimal. Uh, you know, let's say your thyroid uh, function. What is the optimal level for your T3 or your T4? It's not the ballpark figure that they put there somewhere on a spreadsheet. What is the optimal for you? And like Dr. Barry also said, there are so many things that influence hypertension. Like for instance, if you are fighting an infection, if you have inflammation, you know, if you have stress
Mm.
in your personal life, if you just exercised, you know, if you just moved around before they took the test or before you did the test, all these little things influence your
Your
um,
PPM.
yes, and it's like the blood glucose. It's
Mm-hmm.
not the be all end all. It's just one indicator.
Mm.
Yeah. Because many people throw it around and say, no, my BP is fine, but I can see
Mhm.
they are not fine.
Yeah,
you know, you know,
yeah, yeah, yeah. I
or they
always
throw,
thought I was fine.
yeah, yeah. Or they say, no, my blood sugar is fine. I've just tested it. My blood sugar is fine. Yeah, but look how you look. you know, then the person is obese, which
Yeah.
is a very high risk for uh, metabolic syndrome and obesity.
Mm.
Obesity has a 3.9 risk factor for heart disease, metabolic syndrome 6.0. But they only talk about the hypertension or the blood sugar. No, that's fine. That's fine. I'm all
Yeah,
right. I've got my doctor. I've got my pills. Leave me alone.
yeah. That's the common thing. Right. So, for those that have just joined us, Cobus also do TikTok videos. I hope I said it right because normally I say TikTok, the Afrikaans way.
Tukker
TikTok
tokker.
videos. Yeah, TikTok videos. And Cobus, question for you. What
Yes.
was the worst, um, must I say replies? Yeah, replies to the carnivore diet that you've experienced over the 4 years? What was the worst one? What did
Are you
somebody
talking
tell you?
personal insults or just about the carnivore diet?
Maybe we can do both.
This is
Let's go first go
yes.
carnivore.
The, this morning I had a video where a lady said, "Are you going to coach after you had your stroke and your heart attack because it's on its way to you?" Just like that. So I made a nice 5-minute video for her. so, and I explained to her all the things that I'm not going to say now, but I just basically give her a biology lesson.
Yeah,
Anyway,
yeah. Let me just say, bypass carnivore Cobus deals with a lot of funny comments, or must I say worse comments, that you don't even think about that people is throwing at him. But yeah,
uh,
cool and calm and collective. That's Cobus answering them back and giving them pure advice. Yeah. I
yeah,
had to throw that one in.
you 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 take any energy that comes your way and you turn it in a positive.
Yeah. Then, if there's somebody in the chat who wants to start the carnivore diet, Cobus, what would you tell them? How do they start? What should they do?
Yes,
Give them some advice from your perspective, your view, your way.
yes. Okay, so the one thing that I always tell people is make a strong or have strong reasons why you want to do it. You
The
know,
why.
yeah, you have strong reasons why you want to do the carnivore diet because uh, some people don't have strong enough reasons. And if you're not going to have a strong reason why you want to do this, then you won't succeed. Um, and the second thing I would tell people is forget everything that you've learned because many people come from other types of diets where they did calorie restriction and they lost some kilos but they've gained more back because they starved themselves. And I would tell them that the carnivore diet is the opposite. You can eat until you're not another bite full. And don't worry about your cravings because the cravings will go away if you stick to the rules, which we all know. Don't put sweet taste in your mouth. Eat until you're not another bite full. Eat in the carnivore way. Eat
Hmm.
fatty enough and don't
Hmm.
calorie restrict. Yeah, very
Yeah,
important. Yes.
that's awesome advice. Is there any questions from our viewers? Can pop them in the chat. That's awesome advice. Just going through. So, Cobus, any long-term goals, aspirations that you have for the carnivore diet and your health?
Graham, I'm just going to continue sharing the information that I have and uh, sharing platforms with people like yourself. I'm so grateful for people like you, and I take my hat off for you and everybody that is involved with the product projects that you are doing, and all the other people that we know, our friends on Facebook and all the places. It's amazing to be part of something bigger, you know, and we are saving lives. I've told one of our mutual friends
Mm-hmm.
today that she is saving lives with the projects and platforms that she's having, and um, it's an honor for me to be part of such a platform. I'm humbled. I'm humbled.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just one
Same
guy on
here.
the internet, and
Mm-hmm.
at the end of the day, people's lives. On TikTok, I see it a lot, especially if I get some negative comment. Then some of my old friends will come in the comments and they will say, I reversed my high blood pressure. I reversed my diabetes. I lost 65 kilos. My life is back. My
Mm-hmm.
energy levels is back. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And that makes my day always.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I'm very grateful. And I will just keep on sharing.
Yeah.
I'll never stop sharing because you know if something helped you, Graham, and you don't share it, doesn't it make you a little bit selfish?
Mm-hmm. And I'm allergic to shellfish. Just had to throw that one in. Yeah, but you're right. You are but selfish if you're not sharing.
Yeah,
And then there's a other saying called sharing is caring.
yeah,
Just add
sharing
that.
is caring.
Yeah.
And I've learned a principle very early in life, and it says that if nobody reaches, nobody gets touched.
Lovely.
You have to reach up, and that's what you did, and that's why we're having this live
Yeah.
interview.
Yeah.
So,
There is a question. There is a question. Let's just pop that question up. Optimal me. You supported a lot in their weight loss journey. Who was the one person, if their story is public, with the most weight loss or the biggest health improvements?
um, that I know of.
I think so.
Yes, yes. Currently on the carnivore diet, it is Niku Guchalt. He's on, I think, 94 kilos down. Imagine that,
Wow.
94 kilos down. He's a
Let
tall
me-
guy. He's taller than me. I think he's size 14 boots. And he did a
Mhm.
strongman competition. You should follow him
Wow.
if the people are not following him yet on TikTok. He's known as Niku Guchalt Hyena Carnivore. Yeah. I interviewed
Nico,
him when he lost 30 kilos, but he's already on 94. I'm still going to interview him again.
that's awesome. And you got a new platform to use it on.
Yes,
StreamYard. Right,
yes,
so just to go to that 94 kilos is around about 270, 207 pounds.
yeah.
So that's the amount of
And he
weight
lost it in a
he
year.
lost.
He lost it in a year.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me just pull up quickly. For those who popped in now, let me just pull up Cobus's share his webpage or his YouTube channel. Let me just make it bigger. Oops. Make it a little bit bigger. Right, Cobus Kriel. This is his YouTube channel, The Carnivore Way. For those who like to subscribe to Cobus, go ahead. He's a carnivore coach in South Africa. As you have seen by now, I've been coached. So I'm
Well,
gonna still miss. Don't mess with you, Cobus, on that one. But yeah, um, Cobus is 4 years on the journey, 4.5 years on the journey, and still continuing. And as he goes along, he's, must I say, preach the gospel of the carnivore to each and every one. He's a TikTok, um, um, he got TikTok channel where most of his videos is in Afrikaans. Then you get some English videos, but on YouTube you will get these English videos as well. Just one question then. Just stop here, Cobus. Um, one question. Were you interviewed by any person that we know of, like Sean Baker or
No,
who
I,
else?
I just had a short interview um, with
Oh,
Amber Lone Star. Um,
Amber Lone Star.
yeah, Amber Lone Star um, Keto. Uh, you'll see the interview, but it was part
Mm-hmm.
of Dr. Sean Baker's interview.
Team.
Yeah, his team interview for his channel. Yeah, but that was
Mm.
only 6 months in, and then
Okay.
yeah, but. I had another interview for Johan van der Merwe, but it's not carnival related. It's well, it was about the carnival, but he's not from carnival. He's from
Mm-hmm.
Boom Media, but that's also on my YouTube channel. But other than this is my first big interview by a big name carnival boffin
Mm-hmm.
called Graham Felix.
Elise. Fire lies. Right. Yeah. So, is there any final things you like? I would say, what's on your mind that you would like to share with our community?
Yes, I
That,
want to end up with what you said. You told me you learned. You taught me something, and it will always be with me. And it says, when temptation comes, say not now, later. Yeah,
Mhm.
and
It
that is a
works.
very powerful thing.
Hmm. Yeah, there is a story behind that, but yeah, it's very powerful.
Really.
And I had to share the story with my wife as well, in saying to her, "Not now, later. Just think about it. When you can now eat it,
Yes,
that's gonna happen later, and then you forget about it.
yes,
That's it." Yeah,
powerful.
so that's very powerful. So this is the plate of possibility. Whatever you put on your plate, this is where empower your plate, place of possibility. So Cobus has found the plate of possibility 4.5 years ago, and he's still on the plate, still doing the plate of possibility, the carnivore diet, where things where would say no, you can't be healed, where doctors say no, you can't, you just have to drink these tablets. However, we now know today that yes, it can be, and there's hope. That's why I say the plate of possibility is empower your plate to enrich your life. And yes, thank you, Cobus, for coming along and taking time out, because I know it's important day to day for South Africans wanting to watch the box. And I think we did the, what you call it, the other video that you posted, the pre something, something with the
Yeah,
pre,
we are the pre-game.
the pre-game. So we had our pre-game, and now we're gonna watch how South Africa makes us proud in the World Cup rugby. I'm not a big sports fan, but yeah, we're looking forward to having a holiday on Monday.
Perfect. Graham, thank you so much. Thank you
Thank you.
for doing this interview, and thank you for the hard work that you are doing for the carnivore diet community.
Thank you, Cobus. I appreciate you, Cobus.
Thank you.
All right, so guys, thank you for coming along, coming on our journey, coming on this interview, popping in some questions. It was fun, it was exciting. We've learned a lot. I myself has learned a lot. And obviously I will go knock on Cobus's door again for some more if I get stuck with my theories. Because I have another theory, but that's for another interview. So Cobus, will you be coming back for another one?
Yes, I will absolutely enjoy it.
Yeah,
It
and
was
next time we
very
have to
nice.
bring more carnivores, more South African carnivores along. So yeah,
Absolutely.
thank you for joining everybody. And this is Graham, the carnivore transformer, Cobus Kriel. Did I say the surname correct?
Yeah, you
Cobus
said it.
Kriel. We're signing off and we say bye.